Hello, can you hear me? We'll start the live at 7 p.m. We'll start the live at 7 p.m. Hello. 7 to 8 p.m. will be Sec 2 math, and then 8 to 9 p.m. will be Sec 1 math. Oh, those who are here can try the worksheets first. You can get the worksheet from the link in our bio. Hi, Karumi. We're starting set 2 math at 7 p.m. You can take a look at the first question. Try the first question. So the table below shows corresponding values of two quantities, the x and the y values. So without doing any calculation, explain why x and y are inversely proportional. So basically, they just want you to explain what is inversely proportional. And if you don't understand or you forgot what's the meaning of inversely proportional, you can also look at the tables of values. It's quite obvious lah. Okay. And you want to try part A? So you can see that the values of x is quite standard. It's moving up by 1. So it's increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can look at the y values. Is it increasing or decreasing? Okay, so inversely proportional means when one value increases, the other value decreases. That's why it's inverse proportion. So they are inversely proportional as when x increases, y decreases. Okay? No, there's no Kahoot today. So with that, express y in terms of x. So what is the general formula for inverse proportion? Use the general formula and then substitute in a pair of values of x and y so that you can find the constant. And with that constant, you will form the equation. Okay, So y equals to k over x, correct? So for inverse proportion, y equals to k over x, where your k is a constant. So you can use any pair of values of x and y as long as it's given. You can use x equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4. You can use the 5 because you don't know the value of p. So let's say we use the first one when x equals to 1, the value of y equals to 6. So since we have this pair, we substitute into the equation, we can find the unknown constant k. So 6 equals to k over 1, meaning my constant k equals to 6. So this means the equation is y equals to 6 over x. Okay, so with this equation, you can find the value of t. So they also give you a hint. Hence means you have to use the previous part that you have found. Okay, anyone? Find the value of p. So this value of p is when x equals to 5 and y equals to. Anyone found the value of p? Anyone found the value of p? For the Sec 2 math will be 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then after that, we follow by Sec 1 math, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you're Sec 2 students, you can continue watching for Sec 1 math because I think Sec 2 you'll be tested with Sec 1 math as well. And you also need your Sec 2 and Sec 1 math for your O-levels. Okay, anyone found the value of P? Okay, sure, you can stay until you have to go. You have to go. Okay, so we substitute x equals to 5 and y equals to p into the equation. So p equals to 6 over 5. So this is 1.2. Okay, for those who are done, can move on to the next question. Anyone with any question for question 1? Yep, the answer is 1.2. This is Sec 2 math. Sec 1 math will be at 8 p.m. No problem. Okay. You can get the worksheets from the link in our bio. Don't have Sec 4 math. We do have Sec 4 math for our physical classes. Okay, those who are done, look at question 2. So they tell you that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DAE. So congruent means they are exactly the same shape and size. You can see. So ACE is a straight line. And then they give you the information that AD is 8.7 cm, CE is 2.2 cm, DE is 6.8 cm, angle ADE is 70 degrees, and angle ACB is 65 degrees. Find AE. So usually for congruent, right, their sides will correspond to each other. Means point A correspond to point B correspond to A, and lastly C will correspond to E. Yep, this is set 2 math. Part A, they're asking for the length of AE. So AE is here. You can see that AE will have the same length as BC, but there's no information for BC, so we can just find AE now. But what we can do is we have the length of CE, and we know that the length AE equals to length AC plus CE. So are we able to find the length AC? Do give it a try. I've already given some hints here. Those who found the answer for length AE can send in your answers in the chat. The length of AE is equals to the length AC plus CE. We have the length CE. Hmm? What you take 8.7 minus 2.2? So since they say it's congruent, right? So you can see that the length AC is the first and the third letter. So length AC must be equals to length DE. And we have the length DE as shown on the diagram. Okay, so the length AC is the same as the length DE, and we know that CE is 2.2. DE is 6.8. So 6.8 plus 2.2. 10. So it should give us 9 cm. Remember to write the unit. Okay, those who are done with part A, move on to part B. Find angle EAD. This angle here. So before we can find angle EAD, do we have this angle here? AED. Angle AED will be equals to angle. So AED, AED in this manner. So it will be equals to BCA. The sequence will be the same. Yep, 45 is correct. Well done. So angle BCA is 65 degrees. So it's 65 degrees here. Then with that, we can find the unknown angle EAD using sum of angles in a triangle. So you should get 45 degrees. E. Those are done. Move on to part C. Tom states that AB is parallel to DE. Show with calculations whether you agree with Tom. They are looking at this two lines here. So we have to make use of properties to help us. Okay, so we can find what is this angle here. Angle BAC equals to angle ADE, which is 70 degrees here. And we found this angle in part B, that's 45 degrees. Okay, so if they are parallel, right, it means that my angle BAD plus angle ADE must give me 180 degrees using interior angles between parallel lines. However, my angle BAD plus angle ADE equals to, so 70 degrees plus 45 degrees is my angle BAD. is equals to 185 degrees, which is not equals to 180 degrees. So I disagree with Tom, because my angle BAD plus angle ADE is equals to 185 degrees and not equals to 180 degrees. Therefore, by interior angles between parallel lines, AB is not parallel to DE. Okay, can see. So, able to see? Okay, for those who are done, can move on to question 3. Okay, question 3 is on direct proportion. Just now question 1 is on inverse proportion, so now we're working on direct proportion. So question 3, P is directly proportional to the square of Q. So square of Q means Q square. The sum of values of P when Q equals to 2 and Q equals to 3 is 26. Find P when Q equals to 4. And you're done with question 3. Have you found the formula or the equation? When P is directly proportional to square of Q, means P equals to KQ square, where K is a constant. So they tell you that the sum of values of P when Q equals to 2 and Q equals to 3 is 26. Find P when Q equals to 4. So make use of the information given to always find the constant first, because we need the equation before we can find the unknown value of P when Q is 4. No, there's no Kahoot today. The Sec 2 math. Today will be on secondary math. Now it's Sec 2 math, then after which ETM will be Sec 1 math. Okay, so when Q equals to 2, we write P1 means the first value of P would be K times 2 square, so it's 4K. Then when Q equals to 3, T2, or the second value of P will be K times 3 square. We have 9K. So the total of 9K plus 4K will give us 26, because they say the sum. So 4K plus 9K equals to 26, which also means 13K equals to 26. So we divide by 13 on both sides. We will find the value of K, which is 2. Therefore, we have the equation E equals to 2Q squared. Yep, 32 is correct. Well done. So when Q equals to 4 means we substitute 4 inside. So P will be equals to 2 times 4 times 4, which will give us 32. Okay, so that's the answer. Then can move on to question 4. So they ask you to determine whether A is inverse proportional to the square root of B plus 1. So square root of B plus 1 will be in this manner. Okay, so what you can do is you can change the values, the table of values. We have A and square root of B plus 1 now. So when A equals to 6, the value of B is 3. So this will be square root of 3 plus 1, which is square root 4, which will give us 2. Then when A is 4, the value of B is 8, so it will be square root of 8 plus 1. So square root of 9 is 3. Then when A equals to 3, square root of 15 plus 1 will be 4. So you can see that as the value of A increases, the value of square root of B plus 1 decreases. Okay? And we can also see what is the value of the constant K. If its inverse proportion means A equals to K over square root B plus 1. So when A is 6, it will be K over 2, meaning my constant equals to 12. So we can see if the K is same throughout for all of them or not. Then when A equals to 4, it will be K over 3. K is still equals to 12. And lastly, when A is 3, K over 4, K is also equals to 12. So therefore, we have the inverse proportion equation as well, which is K equals to K is 12, so we can replace it with 12 over square root of b plus 1. Okay, so yes, it is inversely proportional. As it increases, square root of b plus 1, sorry, it decreases. Then the value of square root of b plus 1 increases. Okay, we can take a short break here and then be back by around in 5 minutes time. We take around a short 5 minutes break. Anyone has any questions can let me know for the first 4 questions. Those who are here can also try the last 2 questions so that we can go through later. Here you can see question 5, then try question 5. Question 5 is on area and total surface area and the volume of pyramid. Fourteen cm is for the length of AB is 14 cm. That's the side of the square base. Side of the square base. Side of the square base. Continue to find the area of one triangular face. Okay, we know that VO is the vertical height. VC is 25 cm, but take note here that VC is not the height of this triangular face. Okay, so what we can do is we can try to visualize this triangle here. VC, can you see the diagram? VCB in a 2D format. Area shouldn't be plus. Okay, so we know the length BC is 14 cm because it's a square base. So what we want to find is this perpendicular height. So if it's a square base, means here must be equals to here, meaning to say here is 7 cm and here is 25 cm. We need to use Pythagoras theorem to find the perpendicular height of this triangle. Okay, so ABCDV is a pyramid with a square base of side 14 cm, VO is vertical, and VC is 25 cm. Find the area of one triangular face. So before we find the triangular face, we have to find the perpendicular height by using Pythagoras theorem. So we show our working clearly how we get 7 cm would be 14 cm divided by 2. Yeah, no worries. Are you Sec 2? Have you learned Pythagoras theorem? If you have yet to learn, then this question will be harder for you. Okay, so Pythagoras theorem is the sum of the square of the two shorter sides equals to the square of the longer side. Ah, no wonder. Okay, so this question will be definitely beyond your standard. Okay. Pythagoras theorem will be learned in Sec 2. So using Pythagoras theorem, we can find the height of the triangle. Would be square root of 25 square minus 7 square, which will give us 24 cm. Okay, so with this perpendicular height, we can find the area of one triangle face. So half times the base is 14 cm times the height is 24 cm, 168 cm square. Ah, okay. Because we have already taught this in our curriculum. Usually we will teach ahead of school so that when you're learning in school, it'll be easier for you. Okay, so that's for part A. So part A is actually helping us to find the total surface area easily. Okay, so actually in O-level kind of questions, right? They usually won't give you the part A. They'll just ask you to find the total surface area. Okay, then you have to know all these intermediate steps. Those questions that give you a lot of parts, they're actually trying to guide you to the final question. So part B, total surface area will be the area of the four triangles plus the square base. Okay, so base area, which is the area of square, plus the sum of four triangle. The four triangles will be of the same area because they have the same base and the same height. Okay, they are technically exactly the same triangles. So base area will be 14 cm times 14 cm. Then area of four triangles will be 4 times 168. So total will give us 868 cm square. Lastly, find the volume of the pyramid. So we need the formula for volume of pyramid, which is 1/3 times base area times the vertical height. Okay, so very important thing to take note here, do not mix up the vertical height with the height of the triangle. They are not the same. Okay, so you can try to visualize this triangle here. It's also a right angle triangle. So you can actually draw out this triangle to find the vertical height. Okay, so this length here, the longer side or the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle, is actually the height of the triangle here, which we have found to be 24 cm. Okay, then the base here, same thing. It's also 14 cm divided by 2, that's why it's 7 cm here. So here is actually our VO, and then here is midpoint of BD. We can also label it D, means here is D. Okay, so by Pythagoras theorem, the height of the pyramid, VO, equals to square root of, always take the hypotenuse square minus the shorter side square when we are finding the unknown shorter side. Okay, that will give us square root of 527 cm. So with this vertical height, we can find the volume of the pyramid. So volume of pyramid, apply the formula 1/3 times base area, which is 14 times 14 times the vertical height. Because the vertical height is not the final answer, so we can just leave it in exact form. This is Sec 2 math. Okay, so for the final answer, when the answer is not exact, always round off to 3 significant figures. Okay, this is volume, so make sure you get the units correct. And remember to write the degree of accuracy. So I then can look at the next question. Yep, this is G3. Excuse me. Question 6. So James had crafted an ornament as a container to hold sweets as shown in the diagram below. It consists of a hemispherical top and an inverted hollow right cone that is embedded in a cylinder. The slant height of the right cone is 9 cm. The radius of the cylinder is r and the height is 3r. Find the radius of the hemispherical top r. Okay, so we can use Pythagoras theorem to help us. So we can see this triangle here, this inverted right angle triangle. We know here is r, here is 3r, and here is 9 cm. Okay, so you can form an equation using Pythagoras theorem. Wow, so it'll be damn easy for you when you're in Sec 2, because you know what's Pythagoras theorem already. Okay, we can form an equation and then find the value of r. So part A, by Pythagoras theorem, r squared plus 3r the whole thing squared must be equals to 9 squared. Okay, the sum of squares of the two shorter side equals to the square of the longer side. Meaning to say r squared plus 9r squared will give us 10r squared equals to 9 squared, which is 81. So r will be square root of 8.1. Okay, because r squared equals to 10r squared equals to 81, so r squared equals to 8.1. Then we square root it to find r. So since they're asking for the final answer here, so we have to round off to 3/6, 2.85. Remember your unit? Find the total external surface area of the whole container. So for the whole container, we have the surface area of the hemisphere, which is on top. We have the curved surface area of the cylinder, which is the side. We have the base area of the cylinder, which is a circle. Okay, because it's covered, so we are looking at the outer area only. Yeah, they're asking for the external surface area. So part B, we have surface area of hemisphere. So surface area of hemisphere will be 2 pi r squared. That's the formula. Because for a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So hemisphere is half of it, so the curved surface will be divided by 2. Okay, so we have 2 pi r is square root of 8.1 squared. We can live in terms of pi first. So we have 8.1 times 2, so 16.2 pi cm squared. Curved surface area of cylinder. So when we open up the curved surface of the cylinder, it will look like a rectangle with the longest side being the circumference of the circle. Okay, try to visualize it. That's why we'll be taking 2 pi r. This is the circumference of the cylinder. Then after which we multiply by the height, which is also the breadth when we open up the rectangle or open up the cylinder. Okay, so this will give us 2 pi times radius square root of 8.1, and height is 3 times r, so square root of 8.1 again. Okay, so this will give us 48.6 pi, We try to live in terms of pi first so that at our final answer, then we round off to prevent early rounding error. Last part, base area of cylinder, which is the area of circle. So it's just pi r squared, which is pi times square root of 8.1 squared. We'll get 8.1 pi. Okay, then we just add everything up to find the total external surface area. So 16.2 pi plus 48.6 pi plus 8.1, which will give us 72.9 pi. Round off to 3 sig fig is 229 cm squared. Okay, part C is calculate the volume of the solid part of the container. So we are looking at volume now. So the volume will be, we need to find the volume of cylinder, we need to find the volume of hemisphere, and then we minus away the volume of cone because that's taken out. Yep, volume is cube because it's 3-dimension. Okay, so for part C, so volume of cylinder will be base area times height. So pi r squared times height. Radius is 8.1 square. Height is square root of 3 times square root of 8.1. So it's approximately 217.269445. Because there's square root involved here, so it's impossible for us to live in exact form. We can just live in more significant figures. Okay, so this is the volume of cylinder. Next, we find the volume of hemisphere. So volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. So for hemisphere, we divide by 2. So it will be 2/3 pi r cube. Same thing, radius is square root 8.1. So it's approximately 48.282. Next, we also need to find the volume of cone. So for volume of cone, the formula is 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, so this formula you have to remember. The h is the vertical height, not the slant height. Huh? Why is your answer so weird? Okay, so the volume of cone, 1/3 pi, radius is 8.1, so square, times height is 3 times square root of 8.1, which will give us approximately 72.423. So therefore, volume of solid part of container will be equals to everything add up together. Sorry, not everything add up together. We have to minus away the volume of cone. Okay, because the cone is taken out. So we will get approximately 193 cm cube when rounded off to 3 sig fig. Can? And D, they say the solid part of the cylinder is remelted and recast to form Small square-based pyramid with base length 2 cm and height of 3 cm. Calculate the number of square-based pyramid that can be formed. So firstly, we have to find what is the volume of one square-based pyramid. Okay. Part D. Volume of one square-based pyramid. Same thing, whenever it's pyramid, it's always one. Same for cone, it looks like pyramid, so there's a one involved. Okay, 1/3 times base area times height. The height is the vertical height. So they say base length 2 cm, so 2 cm times 2 cm will be the area of square base times vertical height of 3 cm. So this will give us 4 cm cube per pyramid. Therefore, number of not enough space. Make smaller. Okay, so number of pyramid will be we take the volume 193.128,445, which is the answer just now on in part C. Use the more exact form or more significant figures, then divide by 4 cm cube, which is the volume of one pyramid. You should have 48 of them. So nearest possible whole number. It should be rounded down. Okay? You can't have more. Okay, so that's for Sec 2 math today. Anyone, any question? Else we'll move on to Sec 1 math. Same thing, you all can download the worksheet. Okay, I'll close this file here. Then we'll move on to Sec 1 math. Hello. You're Chi Hao, right? Now I'll be working on Sec 1 math. Difficult to identify you. P6 math will be next week. If I'm not wrong, it's next Friday. Okay, those who are here can take a look at the first question. Hold on. There's something wrong with this worksheet. Let me see. Because this seems to be the same as last week's one. Wow. Let me upload the program first. Since you all have this worksheet, then we just go through this worksheet. Okay. Can you all see the paper? We will re-upload this, so meanwhile you can look at the questions on my paper on the screen. Hmm? Okay, so for question 1A, the size of the interior angle of a regular polygon is 4 times the size of its exterior angle. So find the number of sides of the polygon. So regular polygon means all sides are equal. So when all sides are equal means all angles are equal. Okay, so we have interior angle and exterior angle. So which formula can we apply here? It will be interior angle plus exterior angle will give us 180 degrees. Okay, so what we can do is we let the exterior angle be x. Means our interior angle will be equals to 4x. Since it's 4 times, so 4x plus x will give us 180 degree, meaning to say 5x is 180 degrees. So we divide by 5 on both sides, so x is 36. Okay, so this is the size of an exterior angle. And we know that the sum of exterior angle is always 360 degrees. So to find the number of sides of this polygon, n will represent the number of sides, we take 360 degree divided by each exterior angle. So the number of sides of the polygon is 10 sides. Okay. Hello. So then can move on to part B. Tommy claims that exterior angle of a regular polygon cannot be 25 degrees. Prove that Tommy is right. So we know that sum of exterior angle is always 360 degrees. So if it's a regular polygon means all the exterior angles must be the same. So can all the exterior angle be 25 degrees? We can take 360 degrees divided by 25 degrees, we get 14.4, which is not a whole number. Okay, so if it's not a whole number, it's not possible because we can't have the number of sides to be in decimal. Okay, so since 14.4 is not a whole number, there is no regular polygon that has an exterior angle 25 degrees. We have fixed out live since last year. Okay, so that's for question 1. Question 2. The temperature of a frozen chicken was -8 degrees Celsius when it was taken from the freezer. The frozen chicken was placed in a hot oven. The temperature rose at a constant rate for 10 minutes. At the end of 10 minutes, the temperature was 22 degrees Celsius. Find the temperature after 6 minutes. So since it's constant rate, it was at -8 degrees Celsius, then placed into the oven. Then at the end of 10 minutes, it's 22 degrees Celsius. So at a span of 10 minutes, it increases from -8 to 22. So 22 minus -8. There's an increase of 30 degrees Celsius. So we can find per minute, we divide by 10. Every minute you increase by 3 degrees Celsius. And then they ask for after 6 minutes. So it will be, there's an increase of 18 degrees Celsius. So from -8 degrees Celsius plus 18 degrees Celsius, the temperature will be 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. So find the time that it took to reach 6 degrees Celsius. So the difference from negative 8 degrees Celsius to 6 degrees Celsius would be there's the increase of 14 degrees Celsius. Okay, so per minute there's an increase of 3 degrees Celsius. So we take 14 degrees Celsius divide by 3. We will get 4 2/3 minute. They ask you to live in minutes and seconds. So it will be 4 minutes 40 seconds. We can take 2 times 60 to find the number of seconds. Those who are done can move on. So question 3 is here. Okay, do try question 3. Those who want to uh, send in your answers can do so. Tom cycles from his house to this school to his school at usual speed of 12 kilometers per hour. If he increases his speed to 25 kilometers per hour, he will reach his school 8 minutes earlier. The distance between Tom's house and his school is xcm. Expressed in terms of x, the usual time Tom takes to cycle from his house to his school. So the distance is x kilometer, so distance divided by speed will be the time taken. Next slide will be coming Tuesday for P6 science. Okay, part B. Expressed in terms of x, the time Tom takes if he cycles at a faster speed, which is 25 kilometers per hour. So same thing, total distance divided by the speed. So hence form an equation in terms of x to describe the difference in time Tom takes to cycle from his house to his school. Okay, so we know that the difference is 8 minutes, but take note here the unit is not the same. So 8 minutes we have to convert it to 8 over 60 hour, which is, we can divide by 4, we get 2 over 15. Okay, live in the simplest form. So meaning to say, when he travels faster, he takes lesser time. So x over 12 is greater than x over 25. So we take x over 12 minus x over 25. The difference is 2 over 15. Okay, so this is the equation that you can form. Part D, solve the equation to find the distance between Tom's house and his school. So we need to find the value of x. Okay, so we just need to solve the equation we have formed in part C. So x over 12 minus x over 25 equals to 2 over 15. Okay, what we can do here will be times 25 and 12 throughout. Okay, meaning to say we times 300 throughout so that we can remove the denominator. So basically x over 12 times 300, we have 25x. Then x over 25, we times 300, we have 12x equals to 2 over 15, we times 300, we get 40. Okay, then we simplify here. 25x minus 12x, we get 13x equals to 40. So therefore, x equals to 3 point. It's approximately 3.0769, which is equals to 3.08 kilometer when rounded off to 3/6 feet. So when the answer is not exact, we round off to 3/6 feet. Okay, that's the answer here. Anyone has any questions so far? Okay. Now we can move on. Y'all can take a look at question 4 and try question 4 first. Vector of the quadrant. Okay, question 4. In the diagram, POQ is a quadrant with center O and radius 10 cm. Given that AB is perpendicular to OQ, AB equals to 8 cm and BQ is 4 cm, find the perimeter of the quadrant. So we can find the arc of the quadrant first before we find the perimeter of the quadrant. Okay, so the circumference of the quadrant of the arc will be a quarter times, because we only have radius, so it's 2 pi r. And the radius is 10. So we have 5 pi here. Therefore, perimeter will be 5 pi plus 10 plus 10. Don't forget to add the 2 radius, which will give us 35.7 cm when round off to 36 feet. Part B, find the area of the shaded region. So part B also quite straightforward. You just need to find the area of the quadrant minus the area of the unshaded part, which is the triangle. Okay, we know the radius is 10, so we can find the base of the triangle. They tell you that AB is perpendicular to OQ, so it must be a right angle here. Then here is just 10 cm minus 4 cm, which will give us 6 cm. So area of shaded region will be area of the quadrant minus area of triangle. So area of quadrant 1/4 times pi r square. Then minus area of triangle is half times base times height. Okay, which will give us 25 pi minus 24. Then we round off to 360. Make sure you get the correct unit for area. Okay, the worksheet is already updated in our link in the bio, so you all can just download from there to get this updated worksheet. Those who are done can move on to question 5. So the figure below shows a square of sides 14 cm. It contains a pattern made up of a semicircle and a quadrant. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So for the semicircle, the 14 cm is the diameter. Then for the quadrant, the 40 cm is the radius. So to find the area of the shaded region, we can just find the area of the quadrant minus the area of the semicircle. Okay, remember to leave your answer in terms of pi. Do give this question a try. I think even P6s should be able to do this. Okay, so firstly, find the area of the quadrant. So quadrant, don't forget your 1/4. Pi r square, so the radius is 14, so 14 square. We can leave in terms of pi first since it's not the final answer yet. Next, find the area of the semicircle. So semicircle is half pi r square. So the radius will be 14 over 2 because 14 is the diameter. So you give us 24.5 pi. Therefore, we can find the area of the shaded region. 49 pi minus 24.5 pi. Okay, then round off. Oh, sorry, just leave it in terms of. So are done. We can move on to question 6. Take a look. Take a look at question 6 and try question 6. Yep, the top right is a quadrant. So inside a square, there's a quadrant. And inside the quadrant, there's a semicircle for question 5. Okay, question 6. The chocolate bar is made up of an outer chocolate biscuit enclosing chocolate cream in its hollow. If the length of the biscuit is 6 cm, calculate leaving your answer in terms of pi. The amount of chocolate cream needed to fill up the biscuit. So the chocolate cream will be placed inside the hollow area. Which area are you at? We have quite a lot of outlets in Singapore. So you can actually find the nearest outlet. You're talking about physical class or online class? Oh, for online class, I think you can leave a message in our TikTok. The admin side will actually get back to you. Okay, so for part A, volume of cream would be, we have to find what is the volume of the hollow side. So we know the diameter is 2 means the radius is 2 divided by 2 square. So volume of a cylinder is base area times height. So we have the base area already, then times the height of 6, which will give us 6 pi cm cube. So remember to leave your answer in terms of pi. Part B, the volume of the outer biscuit. So to find the volume of the outer biscuit, we can find the volume of the whole thing minus away the cream. So volume of biscuit is same thing, pi times radius will be 4 divided by 2 square times height 6. Then we minus the volume of cream, which is 6 pi. Okay, so this will give us 24 pi minus 6 pi, 18 pi cm cube. If the cream is being removed, find the total surface area of the outer biscuit. Okay, so we can find the cross-sectional area first, which is the area of the bigger circle minus the area of the smaller circle. So pi r square. Okay, so the outer circle, the radius is 2. The smaller circle, the radius is 1. So this will give us 3 pi cm squared. So there's 2 of it. One will be On the left one will be on the right, which is the shaded area of the ring. So with this, we can find the total area. We just need to add the curved area of the outer and the inner part. Okay, so 2 times 3 pi first, the left and the right, plus pi times 4. This will give us the circumference of the outer layer, and then times the length of 6 cm. This will give the curved area of the outer part. So this is the outer curved area, plus pi times 2 times 6. This is the inner curved area. Okay, so we should get 42 pi cm square. And also then can take a look at the last question. Okay, we'll try the last question before I go through. Okay, question 7. A portion of a solid cuboid is cut and removed as shown. Given that all dimensions in the diagram are in centimeters, find the volume. So to find the volume, you can just find the volume of the cuboid minus the volume of the triangular prism. So we find the volume of cuboid. So volume of cuboid, length times breadth times height. So 12 times 10 times 8. Okay, make sure you get the correct unit. Then we want to take away the volume of the triangular prism. So we have to find this volume as well. Okay, so if that part is 2, means here will be 10 minus 2, which is 8. Then same for the height of this triangle. Here will be 12 minus 6 equals to 6. Okay, so we find the area of the triangle times the sorry, But how do you know whether they want the volume? They want the volume of this figure here. You can see that this after cutting is the dotted line, right? It's not solid line. So when they ask for the volume, it has to be after cutting because this part here is in dotted line, meaning it's not even in the figure. Basically, they're just asking for everything that is remaining. Yeah. Because even when we are looking at the diagram also didn't show you the part of this triangular prism. It's not there. So definitely they can't be asking you for the full cuboid itself. Okay, volume of the prism, 1/3 times the length of the triangle, 8/6. So this is the area of triangle. Sorry, it should be half. Okay, then you multiply by the length, or rather the height, which is 8. Okay, therefore the volume of the solid will be cuboid minus prism. Part B is on total surface area. So what we can do is we can find this cross-section area first. So for this cross-section area, we'll take the area of rectangle minus the area of triangle. So 12/10 minus area of triangle, half times 8 times 6. Okay, then we can find the total surface area. So for this cross-section area, there's top and bottom, so you multiply by 2, then plus all the other faces. So we can do one by one. We can start from this side here first, 12/8, then plus 10/8 on the bottom. So for 10/8, we can multiply by 2 because this side here, this rectangle is also 10/8. So this pink color portion rectangle is also 10/8. So this we can multiply by 2. There's two faces with 10/8. Bye, see you. Okay, next we have this portion here on top. The top will be 2/8. The side here will be 6/8. Okay, the front and back we have already calculated. So you just make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 faces in total. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're right. Okay. Then add them up, you should get 512 cm square. Any question? Okay, if not, this is the end of the TikTok live for Sec 1 Math. So we're having this webinar promo, so you can register now for one free trial. We have primary 5 and 6 for English, Math, Science, and Creative Writing. Then Set 1 and 2 will be for Math. Okay, and then next live will be next Tuesday on P6 Science, 7 p.m. It's a walkthrough of P6 PSLD revision. Okay. Okay, see you all. Bye bye.